Welcome to the 2025 LLR LMC A Christmas Carol. With apologies to Charles Dickens. Are you sitting comfortably? Then I'll begin. Bevan was dead to begin with. There was no doubt about that. Old Bevan was as dead as a doornail. Ebenezer Streeting was leaving Richmond House. He nodded to the doorman and was assisted into his car by Bob, his chauffeur. Well, Bob, that was a good year's work, said Ebenezer, rubbing his hands against the December cold. I was worried that Treasury would mess it up, but they came through in the end. It was a close shave, though, but I triumphed and been able to put thousands of NHS managers and admin staff out of work just in time for Christmas. The sleek grey Range Rover came to a halt 100 yards from Ebenezer's house. What's this, Bob? It's turned 5 o'clock and your recent edict said no overtime and no excuses. See you bright and early tomorrow, said Ebenezer. But tomorrow's Christmas Day, blurted out Bob before being able to stop himself. Having Christmas Day off is a poor excuse for picking a man's pocket, said Ebenezer Streeting. Next you'll be saying you'll be joining the BMA moaning minutes on the picket line. After a perfunctory farewell, Ebenezer walked to the front door of his imposing, if dilapidated, mansion. I need to apply for more expenses, and this time I may actually spend the money on what I said it was for, he thought to himself. As he looked upon the imposing brass knob, it turned into the likeness of Knight Bevan. The ghostly Bevan said, Ebenezer, I have come to warn you to mend your ways. During my life I worked endlessly to establish a health service fit for our nation, but you continue the work of the previous governments to wreck it. I've come to warn you that you'll be haunted by 3 spirits. Without their visits, continued Bevan, you cannot hope to recover the path that I trod. Expect the first tomorrow when the bell tolls 1. Expect the second on the next night at the same hour. The third upon the third night when the last stroke of 12 has ceased to vibrate. Look to see me no more, and look that, for your own sake, you remember what has passed between us. Ebenezer Streeting turned on the light and saw there was nothing amiss. You may be an undigested piece of beef, a blot of mustard, a crumb of cheese, a fragment of an underdone potato. There's more of gravy than of grave about you, whoever you are. After a well-deserved glass of Louis Roder, Ebenezer climbed the wooden stairs to his sumptuous 4-poster bed, noting to himself, it was a great idea getting the little ones from the children's ward to embroider the 4-poster curtains as a form of therapy. Their small fingers create the finest of finishes. He fell into a peaceful sleep, dreaming of whipping staff, and walking wearing sharpened high-heeled shoes over the prostrate BMA chair. His alarm woke him at 1 o'clock, but after seeing nothing was amiss, hissed "Bar humbug!" and lay down again, only to see a vapour coalesce into amorphous form that said, Ebenezer, I am the ghost of NHS past. Oh, good, said Ebenezer. I watched the play now twice, so know everything there is to know. I repeatedly referred to the doctors looming ominously overnight when I lectured that BMA bunch of out-of-date laggards last summer. The ghost continued, but see the time before the NHS, the families watching their loved ones dying in pain as they did not have the money to pay for medical treatment. The women dying in childbirth and families sent to the poorhouse due to bankruptcy for medical bills. Yes, said Ebenezer. This is boring, so just get on with it. Next, you'll be haunted by NHS Present, said the ghost as it shrunk into the skirting board, shaking its head in despair. Just as Ebenezer Streeting was riding the tide to REM sleep, he was awoken by a bang. I am the ghost of NHS Present, said the dishevelled spectre. Look upon your works and despair, Ebenezer. The ghost showed him queues of patients longer than the eye could see. Young people dying of treatable diseases. Managers running around in circles trying to pretend there were enough of them to do the job. Asking everyone they passed, do you know what the 10-year plan actually means? Present doctors were on strike again, and a group of consultant surgeons were curled up in a corner saying repeatedly, can someone tell me how the AI on my computer is going to replace me, examining patients and performing operations? But the worst was a shriveled figure with chunks missing and so faded you could see through it. I feel I didn't ask, Spectre. But what is that pitiful creature? That, my dear Ebenezer Streeting, It remains of the jewel of the NHS, the most successful, productive and financially viable part of the NHS that used to be the bedrock and the reason why the health of the nation was improving. That is what is left of NHS general practice. Wow, said Ebenezer. I did not realise how successful my policies have been. This will teach those irresponsible and dangerous BMA types. How dare they campaign for enough money to provide a service to the patients? What do they think the government is actually here to do? Once again, the spectre gave up and left shaking his head and whispered, wait for the third visit. Ebenezer Streeting treated himself to another glass of champagne and waited for the third visit with eager anticipation. As expected, clothed in the shroud, the third fountain slowly, gravely, silently approached. When it came, Ebenezer bent down upon his knee, for in the very air through which the spirit moved, it seemed to scatter gloom and mystery. It was shrouded in a deep black garment, which concealed its head, its face, its form, and left nothing of it visible save one outstretched hand. But for this, it would have been difficult to detach its figure from the night and separate it from the darkness by which it was surrounded. Spectre, said Ebenezer, just get on with it, will you? I don't have all night. Said nothing. It just swept at his hand, showing Ebenezer a vision. There were masses weeping. A few people were handing over their life savings for simple treatments. Others just sat looking as despondent anyone can with open sores and chronic foul coughs. Most doctors had emigrated, and those left had retrained as taxi drivers and McDonald's servers. But, said Ebenezer, tell me what happened to little NHS general practice. It is dead and buried, leaving only AI computer kiosks to diagnose and prescribe random medications for the poor unable to afford private services. Spirit, cried, clutching tightly at its rope. Hear me. I am not the man I was. I will not be the man I must have been but for this intercourse. Why show me this, if I am past all hope? For the first time, the hand appeared to shake. Good spirit, he pursued, as down upon the ground he fell before it. Your nature intercedes for me and pities me. Assure me that I yet may change these shadows you have shown me by an altered life. The kind hand trembled, and the spectre dwindled down into a bedpost. I don't know what day of the month it is, said Ebenezer Streeting. I don't know how long I've been amongst the spirits. I don't know anything. I'm quite a baby. Never mind, I don't care. I'd rather be a baby. Hello, whoop, hello there. Running to the window, he opened it and put out his head. No fog, no mist, clear, bright, jovial, stirring cold, piping for the blood to dance to. Golden sunlight, heavenly sky. Sweet fresh air, merry bells. Oh, glorious, glorious. What's today? Cried Ebenezer, calling downwards to a youth in baggy jeans and a hoodie pulled over his head, who perhaps had loitered in to look around him. Case of joint, or more likely rendezvous with his drug dealer. Eh? Replied the boy, with all the might of wonder. What's today, my fine fellow? Said Ebenezer Streeting. Today? Replied the boy. Why, Christmas Day, you balmy git. And if you ever tell anyone I talk to you, I'll shank you good and proper. I feel as light as a feather, said Ebenezer. It is great to see all my plans working out as expected. I need to rush to my computer to buy even more shares in private medical firms and demand even more money from their millionaire owners. Ebenezer thought to himself, I need to sack more people without delay. This all playing into my projects to highlight that I am the tough one. I am the only one to have brought the BMA down, and I am the clear and obvious heir to replace Starmer as the supreme leader. It's a shame that the NHS had to be wrecked in the process, but needs must. With that, Ebenezer Streeting went skipping down the street, leaving a low-leveled, synchronized grinding sound of Nye Bevan and Charles Dickens spinning in their graves. The end. Wishing you all a fantastic Christmas and Happy New Year, and hope to catch up in 2026.